Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential free hit draft for Double Gameweek 25. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Leave a comment, are you thinking of free hitting this week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, yes, free hitting is quite a good option this week. Depends how your team is kind of like set up though. Like if you can get to like 6 or 7 doublers with like a hit or something, then you're in a pretty good spot. A lot of people have saved 2 free transfers from the last game week, so most people are going to be in an alright situation. Of course, there are blanks in 28 as well where people are also thinking of free hitting. That's going to be quite a bad one as well because potentially Liverpool will blank in that and also like City and stuff. So if you're free hitting them into your squad this week, you won't have to worry about like the Liverpool players in that game week. So there's kind of like different ups and downs of having Liverpool in your team right now. But either way, let's go over a free hit draft that I did put together. In goal, we do have Pickford and Forster. I guess you could also go Sarr as well if you wanted to, but Pickford's just a little bit cheaper. Both Wolves and Everton have a good fixture and then a bad fixture, so there's not really a massive difference between them. Obviously, the Villa at home game, it's a little bit nicer than Fulham away for Everton as opposed to like Wolves, so that's why I've gone for Pickford. And then Forster's just there as well. He's 3.9 mil as a playing keeper. You're not going to play him, but he's just there to just get you a little bit of extra money because I've just been able to make this draft. I've got nothing in the bank with this draft, so some people will be able to easily make this draft, some people won't. If you can't easily make this draft, you will have to like downgrade a couple of players, but there's really good options that you can easily downgrade that won't like hurt your team or anything, just the bench really. Anyway, the back line, we've got Trent, Gabriel, Tarkowski, Kilman and Bueno. So again, Kilman is one of those players that you could downgrade. If you do need a little bit of extra money, you could just downgrade him to like a 4 mil defender or even a Patterson who's 3.9, who again does double, but at the same time probably won't play. But again, he's just going to be on your bench anyway. It's just if you need that extra 0.5 in your team or not. Anyway, yeah, so the back line basically is Trent, Gabriel and Tarkowski. A lot of people are opting to go like Trent and Robbo, which is an alright option as well. I just feel like there's going to be a bit of rotation in the back line with so many games coming thick and fast. They've got Champions League and then obviously a double game week, so there's a lot of fixtures they have to play. So I think Simicast potentially could play one of the doubles because he's more than capable of doing that, especially because Robbo is going to be wanting to play like the Champions League and stuff like that. Trent could also get rotated as well. I just think he's a little bit less likely because Gomez can play on the right, Milner can play on the right. But either way, I think Trent's ceiling is just a lot higher than Robertson, and he has been playing better than him in the last few weeks and stuff. So yeah, that's why I've gone Trent over Robbo. But again, you could go Trent and Robbo if you really want to. And depending on situations as well, like if Darwin Núñez is injured, then, you know, maybe double Liverpool defense is a good idea. But I don't know, I just feel like there's a little bit of rotation in that Liverpool back line. Gabriel is in there just because he's the best Arsenal defender to own. He's nailed. His like attacking numbers in the box are a lot better off like set pieces and stuff than any other Arsenal player, so that's why Gabriel's in there. And then Tarkowski as well, another player that is just getting so many chances in the box on like set pieces and corners and stuff. I think he hit the post as well off a header like last week or a couple of weeks ago. But either way, he's just really good aerial threat, and I think most people will be bringing him in to their teams whether you're on a free hit or not this week, just because he's such a good option. And then Kilman and Bueno, just bench fodder. Again, you could play one over Tarkowski if you wanted to, but I don't think that's the best idea. They're basically just there because they both double and they're both cheap. But again, if you needed extra money, you can always downgrade Kilman to a Patterson or a different 4 mil defender if you really wanted to. But yeah, the back line you'd really be playing with this draft are Trent, Gabriel and Tarkowski. Moving into midfield though, I really like this midfield. We have Ødegaard, we have Saka, Salah, Mahrez and Bowen. So obviously Ødegaard and Saka, 2 really good Arsenal assets. And obviously there's no Nketiah in this draft as well. We'll talk about that in a second as to why we don't have that. But yeah, Ødegaard, Saka and Gabriel I think is just a really good triple up for Arsenal. I mean, Nketiah is a good option as well. Like, don't get me wrong, he is such a good option. He's been missing a lot of chances lately. Like, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, yeah, I think Ødegaard and Saka for attacking options are really good. Ødegaard should have got a lot more points last week as well. He did miss a bit of a sitter, but did still come out with 8 points, which isn't too bad. Saka still on penalties, which is really good for Saka owners, and just arguably the best Arsenal player to own right now. He's a 90 minutes man, no rotation, like I say, on penalties. He's basically in like every single attack, it feels like, at the moment. So yeah, if you don't have Saka in your team, whether you're on a free hit or not, get him into your team. He's worth it if you've got like Martinelli and you need to take a -4 to take him out. So like, he's just worth it. Martinelli is not as good as Saka. Saka is the best Arsenal option in my personal opinion. So those are the 3 Arsenal players that I've kind of tripled up on. Salah, of course, is their captaincy option this week, just as Saka is as well. 2 really nice fixtures, also on penalties. Again, there might be a little bit of rotation due to the Champions League and the double game week for Liverpool, but I think Salah is the least likely player to get rotated. He is a 90 minutes man. He may get taken off on like the 75th or something if they're beating like, I don't know, Wolves 3-0. Like obviously, like they don't need to arrest him for, like they don't need to play him if that's the situation. But yeah, I think Salah is a must this week, even if for like a hit. If you're not on a free hit, like even for a hit, I think his ceiling is so high this week. I could see like a 15-20 point haul from Salah this week. So yeah, that's why I think he has to be in a team if you're free hitting, or if you're not, get him into your team. Whether you take him out for like Kane or something, I mean, that's a different kind of discussion. We'll talk about that in like my team selection video, which will be coming tomorrow, because obviously I am a Kane owner and I don't own Salah, so that's a decision I kind of have to make. But yeah, as of right now, Salah has to be on a free hit draft. I've also got Mahrez and Bowen as well, two players that are not doubling in game week 25, but both have really, really good fixtures. Bowen is a 90 minutes man. He's got Forest at home, Forest away. As a Forest fan, we're not great, and I feel like Bowen could do some damage to us in double game week 25, which I'm not excited about, but I feel like he's a nice little differential to own. And there's not really any other players I would put in this midfield. I mean, there's the likes of Iwobi and McNeil and stuff, but I don't think it's worth it. I feel like you'd just be bringing those players in just because it's a double. And at the same time, Everton don't even have a great double game week. Like the Villa at home game is really where your points are going to come from, and then Arsenal away, that's a terrible fixture for Everton. So yeah, McNeil and Iwobi, I don't think they outscore Bowen and Mahrez really. I mean, they might, but I just feel like because they've got a double, yeah, they get like an extra 1 or 2 points from, you know, appearance points, but at the same time, I feel like Bowen and Mahrez could easily do big numbers against Bournemouth and Forest. So yeah, that's why I've gone those two instead. But yeah, Mahrez, again, bit of a rotation risk potentially. Especially with like Champions League and stuff, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what happens like with the Champions League games this week, press conferences at the weekend, stuff like that. But as of right now, Mahrez is in the team as well as Bowen. So that's the midfield. I feel like that's where all your points are going to be coming from. And then up top, we do have Darwin Núñez, Haaland, and then Sam Greenwood. I mean, Greenwood's obviously just bench fodder. Haaland is just in there. Again, not... a lot of people are going to captain him this week, but I think Salah and Saka are much better options just simply because they've got a double. They're both really good fixtures. Haaland can obviously go and bag a hat-trick like he usually does, but at the same time, I feel like Salah and Saka could go do that this week. Not maybe in the same game, but I could see them getting three goals over the course of the 2 games. And then Darwin Núñez is the big kind of iffy decision in this draft. Obviously, if he plays, that's perfect. I think he obviously could get rotated a little bit, especially with Champions League and stuff, because Klopp did say that there's a chance that he could play in the Champions League fixture this week, and they're going to need him as well for Real Madrid at home. That's going to be a really tough fixture, but the likes of Jota being back, Firmino being back, stuff like that, it does kind of, and Gakpo as well, obviously, it does kind of hurt Darwin's minutes a little bit, especially if he is injured. So he might not be the best option. Like I say, we'll have to watch Champions League, we'll have to see press conferences and stuff like that. But I think he is a really nice option if all things are like okay. I think he's going to have the most minutes out of Gakpo, Darwin, Jota, and Firmino. I think he's going to have the most minutes over the course of the double if he is fit, because obviously no one's going to be taking Salah's place. And that's kind of the free hit draft. So I actually really like this draft. I feel like this is going to score you a lot of points. Captaincy choice, like I say, Salah, Saka, or Haaland are the big 3. Personally, for me, it's honestly so tough between Saka and Salah because they're both just such good options. They're both on penalties. Obviously, Salah, I guess, is a better player all round, but again, not having the greatest season where Saka is having a really good season. So honestly, it's going to be a flip of the coin. I think there's going to be a massive swing of points this week, depending on who you do captain. But yeah, if Darwin Núñez is injured, then you could obviously change your whole team around, really. Like, you could get rid of Darwin and bring in Nketiah, which obviously means you'd have to take out like an Arsenal player, so you'd probably take Gabriel out, and then you've got 7 mil in the bank, so you wouldn't have enough for Alexander-Arnold, I don't think. No, he's 7.3. Oh no, he's already in the team, never mind. You could bring in Robertson, that's what I meant to say. You could bring in Robertson if you wanted to do that. So again, if Darwin's injured, that's another route you could take. So you have double Liverpool defence. But at the same time, I still think there is that rotation risk with Robertson. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with Darwin Núñez, because if he is fine, then I'd go for the first draft. But if he's not fine, this is still a very good draft as well. And again, you might be able to make it, you might be able to not make it, but you can easily just get rid of like Kilman for a 4 mil player, or like a Patterson or something. Like if you get rid of Kilman for Patterson, that's like an extra 0.5 mil you're saving. So you don't have to really worry about money then, because you've got a decent amount in the bank, you know, 0.7, 0.8 in the bank. So yeah, that's kind of the draft that I'd put together if I was on a free hit. If you are, you know, not free hitting this week, obviously you want to bring in Liverpool players. Do it after the Champions League game. Do it after the press conferences, just so you know, because when there's fixtures midweek, it's never a good idea to bring in players early, because anything could happen. Anyone could get injured this week. Salah could get injured this week. It could easily happen. So you know, just make sure that you do it after the games. I know that there's always the idea that you could get priced out, and if you could, then that's a different conversation. But if you have an extra bit of money in the bank, you don't need to make early transfers. Again, they might be price rises and you might lose like a 0.1, but it's better to do it that way than to bring in a player early and then them get injured and then you have to deal with it with like a -4 or something. Anyway though, that's everything from me. If you enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment with your thoughts on this free hit draft. Subscribe if you're brand new. Best of luck with Double Gameweek 25. My team selection will be tomorrow, where I talk about my transfers, because I've got 2 frees in the bank and a massive headache as well with in regards to what I actually do. So anyway, see you next time. Have a good one and peace.